Listen, Trump, your missiles struck Nigeria Christmas Day 2025, killing 47 civilians, including 19 children. You called it counterterrorism. Now release the complete Epstein client list before authorizing another African strike. Release every name, every flight, every crime. You bomb our children while protecting elite pedophiles. Release the list now, or face me. Let me tell you what you are hiding. Analysis of flight manifests reveals patterns, reveals certain passengers flew to Little St. James repeatedly over years, reveals frequency suggesting ongoing participation, not isolated visits, reveals coordination between multiple passengers traveling together on same flights, reveals destinations consistent with trafficking operation using the island as the primary location. Pattern analysis identifies high-frequency passengers, identifies those who flew to the island 10 times or more, identifies those who flew 20 times or more, identifies a small group who flew 30 or more times over a 20-year period. High-frequency proves sustained participation, proves knowledge of island purpose, proves complicity in network operations. Passenger manifests document specific individuals by name and date. Document politician identified as passenger A who flew to Little St. James 14 times between February 1998 and November 2004. Flew February 12, 1998. Flew September 16, 1998. Flew March 23, 1999. Flew August 8, 1999. Flew December 11, 1999. Flew April 4, 2000. Flew July 19, 2000. Flew October 2, 2000. Flew February 14, 2001. Flew May 28, 2001. Flew September 7, 2001. Flew January 15, 2002. Flew June 22, 2002. Flew November 9, 2004. 14 trips over 6 years proves a sustained relationship, proves regular participation, proves knowledge of activities occurring on the island during this period when multiple survivors report being trafficked there. Manifest document businessman identified as passenger B who flew to Little St. James 23 times between January 1999 and July 2015. Flew approximately every 8 months on average. The longest gap between visits was 14 months. The shortest gap was 3 months. Consistency proves routine. Proves island visits were a regular part of life. Proves comfort with whatever occurred there. 23 trips over 16 years is not a curiosity, is not a coincidence, is participation in a network, is complicity in trafficking, is criminal behavior documented through official aviation records. Manifest document celebrities identified as passenger C who flew to the island 11 times between March 2001 and September 2013. Flew with other celebrities on several occasions. Flew alone on other occasions. Flew despite public persona as family-oriented and morally upright. Hypocrisy between public image and private behavior is total. Public lectures about values while privately participating in or enabling trafficking. 11 trips proves knowledge, proves participation, proves guilt regardless of public denials or reputation management. Manifest document academic identified as passenger D who flew to island 9 times between October 2000 and December 2009. Academics held prominent positions at elite universities during this period, accepted millions in donations from Epstein for research programs, visited the island multiple times while accepting money. The connection between financial relationships and island visits is obvious. Visits were payment for legitimacy Epstein received through academic association. Academic provided cover, provided institutional respectability, provided access to other academics and students, provided everything in exchange for donations and invitations to islands where survivors report being abused during the exact period academic visits. Manifest document banker identified as passenger E who flew to island 17 times between May 1999 and March 2014. Banker managed financial relationships for Epstein, structured investments, facilitated transfers, enabled wealth management supporting trafficking operations. 17 island visits over 15 years proves banker was not merely professional service provider, was participant in network, was beneficiary beyond professional fees, was criminal using banking expertise to enable trafficking while personally benefiting through island access. Manifest document attorney identified as passenger F who flew to island 12 times between July 2000 and August 2012. Attorney represented Epstein in various legal matters, negotiated 2008 plea deal giving Epstein minimal sentence, threatened victims who sought justice, used legal system to protect trafficking network. 12 island visits proves attorney was not merely zealous advocate, was participant rewarded with island access, was criminal using legal expertise to shield network while personally benefiting through participation. Manifest document media executive identified as passenger G who flew to island 8 times between April 2002 and June 2011. Executive controlled major media organization during this period. Media organization provided favorable coverage of Epstein, minimized negative stories, provided platform for reputation management. 8 island visits explains coverage patterns, explains why media organization protected Epstein, explains corruption of media function through executives' participation in network creating conflict of interest and bias favoring trafficker. Manifest document additional passengers whose names remain sealed but whose travel patterns reveal participation. Document passenger H who flew 31 times. Document passenger B who flew 18 times. Document passenger J who flew 26 times. Document dozens more who flew between 5 and 15 times. Total passenger count exceeds 200 individuals documented flying to island. Some flew once, possibly unaware of island purpose. Many flew repeatedly, proving awareness and participation. High-frequency flyers number approximately 47 individuals. 47 Americans flew to trafficking island multiple times over years. 47 Americans participated in or enabled network. 47 names you protect through sealing evidence. Witness statements from island staff describe what occurred during periods documented in flight manifests. Describe young girls present on island when high-frequency passengers visited. Describe girls housed in compound. Describe girls as young as 14 and 15. Describe instructions to staff to prepare particular rooms when specific passengers arrived. Describe atmosphere of secrecy. Describe being told not to speak about what they observed. Describe fearing retaliation for disclosure. Witness statements are sworn, are detailed, are consistent across multiple employees working different years. Consistency proves reliability, proves accuracy, proves crimes occurred exactly as described. Witness identified as employee A worked on island 2001 through 2003, describes seeing passenger B with young girls on multiple occasions during this period, describes girls appearing uncomfortable and intimidated, describes passenger B acting familiar with island routines suggesting repeated visits, describes being instructed to ensure privacy during visits, describes understanding instructions meant concealing activities from outside observation. Statement directly connects passenger B documented in flight manifest to presence of underage girls during exact period survivor testimonies describe being trafficked to island. Witness identified as employee B worked 2004 through 2007, describes seeing passenger D with young girl who appeared 15 or 16, describes girl looking distressed, describes passenger D dismissing employee when employee entered room, describes later seeing same girl crying, describes wanting to help but fearing job loss and potential violence if intervening. Statement connects academic whose manifest document 9 visits to presence of distressed minor during period academic claims visits were purely social. Witness identified as employee C worked 2008 through 2011, describes seeing passenger G arrive with Epstein and other men, describes young girls joining group at pool area, describes girls appearing young enough to be daughters, not companions, describes overhearing conversations where men discuss girls using crude language, describes atmosphere making clear girls were there for men's use, not as guests or employees. Statement connects media executive documented flying 8 times to presence of young girls during period media executive claims visits were networking. Witness identified as employee D worked 2012 through 2015, describes seeing passenger E multiple times during this period, describes passenger E requesting specific girl by description, describes staff locating girl matching description, describes understanding request was for sexual purposes, describes later learning girl was 17. Statement connects banker documented flying 17 times to requesting minor for sexual purposes, proving knowing participation in trafficking, not innocent island visits. Multiple witnesses describe systematic operation, describe girls arriving by plane from Florida and New York, describe girls staying in compound supervised by Epstein associate, describe girls being sent to entertain visitors, describe understanding girls were trafficked for sexual purposes, describe system operating openly on island because isolation provided security against detection, describe powerful visitors participating regularly over years. Descriptions corroborate survivor testimonies, corroborate flight manifest patterns, corroborate photographic evidence, corroborate financial records. Corroboration across independent evidence types proves systematic trafficking involving documented passengers. Survivor testimonies describe being trafficked to island as minors, describe specific incidents with specific men, describe dates matching flight manifests, describe activities matching witness descriptions, describe trauma lasting years or decades. Survivor identified as victim A describes being trafficked to island age 14 in 2001, describes being abused by multiple men during week-long period, describes one man matching description of passenger B, describes man being familiar with island layout suggesting prior visits, describes man telling her he was important businessman and she should feel privileged, describes assault occurring in bedroom overlooking ocean, describes trauma and shame preventing disclosure for years. Testimony matches flight manifests showing passenger B visited island July 2001 exactly when victim A reports being present. Survivor identified as victim B describes being trafficked to island age 15 in 2004, describes being abused by man matching description of passenger D, describes man claiming to be professor, describes man discussing academic topics between assaults as though intellectualizing abuse made it acceptable, describes feeling confused and violated, describes being threatened by Epstein associate not to speak about what occurred. Testimony matches flight manifest showing passenger D visited island October 2004 exactly when victim B reports being present, and matches employee B statement describing seeing passenger D with young distressed girl during same period. Survivor identified as victim C describes being trafficked to island age 16 in 2009, describes being abused by man matching description of passenger G, describes man discussing media industry, describes man assaulting her in massage room, describes physical pain and emotional devastation, describes being paid $200 after assault, describes understanding payment was to buy silence. Testimony matches flight manifest showing passenger G visited island June 2009 exactly when victim C reports being present, and matches employee C description of seeing passenger G with young girls during same period. Survivor identified as victim D describes being trafficked to island age 17 in 2013, describes being requested by name by man matching description of passenger E, describes man being familiar with island staff and processes suggesting regular visitor, describes assault in guest bedroom, describes afterward man gave her expensive bracelet, describes understanding gift was hush money. Testimony matches flight manifests showing passenger E visited island March 2013 exactly when victim D reports being present, and matches employee D statement describing passenger E requesting specific girl during same period. Survivor testimonies total 43 individuals who report being trafficked to island as minors between 1998 and 2015. 43 survivors name abusers. Descriptions match documented passengers. Dates match flight manifests. Details match witness observations. Corroboration is overwhelming. Corroboration proves trafficking occurred, proves documented passengers participated, proves crimes are real, proves evidence exists, proves you seal evidence to protect criminals, not to preserve investigations because investigations have proceeded years without charges against passengers. Photographs seized from Epstein properties show parties and gatherings. Show passenger B at island party with Epstein and others in 2003. Show passenger D at Manhattan apartment dinner in 2005. Show passenger G at Palm Beach estate gathering in 2010. Show passenger E on yacht with Epstein in 2012. Photographs prove relationships, prove access, prove socializing over years. Photographs corroborate flight manifests, corroborate witness statements, corroborate survivor testimonies. Multiple photographs show young females present at events attended by documented passengers. Females appear underage, appear uncomfortable, appear out of place among wealthy older men. Photographs are evidence, are proof of associations, are corroboration of crimes. Financial records trace payments from Epstein accounts to survivors. Trace payment to victim A of $2,500 in July 2001, days after island visit matching passenger B presence. Trace payment to victim B of $3,000 in October 2004, days after island visit matching passenger D presence. Trace payment to victim C of $200 in June 2009, days after island visit matching passenger G presence. Trace payment to victim D of $5,000 plus bracelet purchase in March 2013, days after island visit matching passenger E presence. Payments corroborate survivor testimonies. Prove assaults occurred when and where survivors describe. Prove financial transactions supported trafficking operations. Financial records also trace larger payments to facilitators. Trace payments to associate who recruited victims. Trace payments to pilot who flew passengers. Trace payments to staff who maintained island. Trace entire financial network supporting operations. Communications between Epstein and passengers discuss visits and arrangements. Email from passenger B to Epstein in June 2001 confirms upcoming July island visit and asks whether particular girl will be available. Email proves advanced planning, proves requesting specific victim, proves knowing participation in trafficking. Text message from passenger D to Epstein in September 2004. Thanks Epstein for introduction to charming young lady and suggests meeting again soon. Message proves awareness girl was trafficked, proves participation in abuse, proves ongoing relationship enabling repeated abuse. Email from passenger G to Epstein in May 2009 discusses logistics of upcoming June visit and requests privacy arrangements. Email proves awareness that visits required secrecy, proves consciousness of wrongdoing, proves participation despite knowledge of criminality. Communications also show Epstein managing networks strategically, show Epstein coordinating victim recruitment, show Epstein scheduling visitors to maximize island utilization, show Epstein providing girls matching specific passenger preferences, show Epstein using island access as reward and leverage with powerful men. Communications prove Epstein operated trafficking network as systematic business. Business serving elite clientele. Business protected through clientele's power and influence. Business you protect now through sealing communications proving participation. You possess all this evidence sitting in FBI custody at headquarters in Washington and field office facilities storing seized materials. Evidence fills rooms, fills filing cabinets, fills digital servers holding terabytes of data. FBI seized everything when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested July 6, 2019 in New Jersey after arriving from Paris on private aircraft. Seized computers from Manhattan Mansion containing thousands of files. Seized hard drives from Palm Beach Estate storing years of photographs and videos. Seized phones containing communications with clients and facilitators. Seized paper documents from safes including flight logs and financial records and handwritten notes. Seized filing cabinets full of organized blackmail material Epstein maintained systematically. Seizures occurred across multiple properties over weeks. Teams of agents cataloged everything. Forensic specialists analyzed digital evidence. Document experts reviewed paper records. Process took months. Analysis continues years later. Everything is documented. Everything is cataloged. Everything is ready for use in prosecutions. FBI analyzed everything over years since seizure. Analysis revealed patterns, revealed networks, revealed systematic operations spanning decades, revealed Epstein did not act alone but coordinated trafficking enterprise involving dozens of facilitators and hundreds of clients. Analysis connected flight manifests to financial records showing payments matching travel dates, connected witness statements to survivor testimonies showing consistent descriptions across independent sources, connected photographs to manifests showing documented passengers present at events where underage females were visible, connected communications to activities showing advanced planning and specific requests proving intent. Analysis built comprehensive picture of trafficking network operations from 1997 through 2019, built prosecutable cases against multiple participants, built evidence packages sufficient for grand jury indictments, built everything necessary for justice. FBI cataloged everything proving systematic trafficking by dozens of powerful Americans documented across multiple evidence types, cataloged 683 flights on primary aircraft to Little St. James showing 204 distinct passengers over 22 years, cataloged 47 passengers who flew 10 or more times proving sustained participation, cataloged witness statements from 14 island employees describing trafficking operations and passenger interactions with minors, cataloged 43 survivor testimonies describing abuse by men whose descriptions match documented passengers during periods matching flight dates, cataloged 3,217 photographs showing passengers at Epstein properties and events, cataloged financial records documenting 84,000 payments from Epstein accounts to victims and facilitators between 1998 and 2019, cataloged 11,632 communications including emails and text messages discussing arrangements and preferences, everything cataloged, everything organized, everything accessible, everything proving crimes occurred systematically involving documented participants whose names appear throughout evidence. Evidence is sufficient for prosecutions under federal trafficking statutes, sufficient under 18 U.S.C. 1591 prohibiting sex trafficking of minors, sufficient under 18 U.S.C. 1594 establishing general conspiracy liability for trafficking, sufficient under 18 U.S.C. 2421 prohibiting transportation of minors for illegal sexual activity, sufficient under 18 U.S.C. 371 establishing general conspiracy liability. Statutes require proving defendant knowingly participated in trafficking through recruiting or transporting or harboring or soliciting minors for commercial sex. Evidence proves knowledge through repeated island visits during period when trafficking occurred, proves participation through witness statements and survivor testimonies describing passengers with minors, proves commercial nature through financial records documenting payments. Evidence exceeds statutory requirements for conviction, exceeds beyond reasonable doubt standard, provides overwhelming proof sufficient to convince any honest jury. Evidence is sufficient for convictions based on legal standards and precedent cases, sufficient based on corroboration across independent evidence types. Flight manifests prove presence, witness statements prove activities, survivor testimonies prove assaults, photographs prove associations, financial records prove payments, communications prove intent. Each evidence type standing alone creates reasonable suspicion. Combined evidence creates proof beyond reasonable doubt. Corroboration eliminates innocent explanations, eliminates claims of coincidence, eliminates reasonable defenses. Evidence survives any competent defense challenge, survives cross-examination, survives appellate review. Evidence delivers convictions when presented to juries because juries convict when evidence is overwhelming, incredible, and corroborated as this evidence is. Evidence is sufficient for justice, meaning accountability proportionate to harm caused. Justice requires identifying perpetrators publicly, requires prosecuting crimes through criminal courts, requires convicting guilty parties, requires sentencing reflecting severity of trafficking and abuse of minors, requires civil liability through lawsuits enabling survivors to recover damages, requires social accountability through reputation destruction and career termination, requires prevention of future crimes through incapacitating offenders. Evidence enables all these justice forms, enables everything survivors deserve, enables everything society requires to address systematic trafficking by powerful offenders who believe wealth and connections provide immunity. Evidence remains unused despite sufficiency for prosecutions and convictions and justice, remains sealed in FBI custody, remains classified preventing public access, remains hidden from survivors seeking justice, remains unavailable to prosecutors who could charge cases, remains suppressed through bureaucratic and political decisions prioritizing elite protection over accountability. Years pass since seizure, years pass since analysis completion, years pass while survivors wait for justice, years pass while perpetrators continue living freely without consequences. Evidence possession without use is injustice, is betrayal of survivors, is obstruction of justice through administrative means. You choose to seal evidence through classification decisions and prosecutorial discretion and executive privilege claims, choose personally because authority to declassify rests with president, choose to maintain classifications preventing public release, choose to refuse directing Attorney General to prosecute documented cases, choose to assert executive privilege over evidence seized through federal law enforcement preventing congressional oversight and public disclosure. Choices are yours. Choices reflect priorities. Choices reveal you value elite protection over survivor justice, value secrecy over transparency, value maintaining relationships with powerful men over delivering accountability. Choices prove everything about character and values and whose interests you serve. You choose to protect criminals whose names appear in evidence as high-frequency passengers whose repeated visits prove participation, protect through keeping names sealed, protect through refusing prosecutions despite sufficient evidence, protect through enabling continued denials because without public evidence release accused can claim innocence and many believe them lacking access to proof. Protection is active choice, is ongoing decision, is complicity in covering crimes. Protection makes you participant in conspiracy to obstruct justice, makes you enabler of continued impunity, makes you responsible for denying justice to 43 survivors whose abusers you shield. You choose to deny justice to survivors whose testimonies describe abuse by documented passengers during periods matching flight dates and witness observations, deny through refusing to release evidence corroborating their accounts, deny through refusing prosecutions that would vindicate their truthfulness, deny through maintaining secrecy enabling abusers to dismiss survivor accounts as fabrications lacking proof. Denial is cruelty, is betrayal, is compounding original trauma with governmental abandonment. Survivors deserve justice, deserve vindication, deserve seeing abusers held accountable. You deny everything through choosing elite protection over survivor rights. 47 high-frequency passengers documented flying to island 10 or more times over 20-year period between 1997 and 2019. 47 Americans whose travel patterns prove sustained relationship with Epstein during period when trafficking occurred continuously. 47 whose participation in or knowledge of trafficking is proven through flight frequency alone, even without additional evidence. 10 visits over 20 years is not coincidence, not innocent socializing, not unknowing presence at location where crimes occurred. 10 visits proves awareness, proves tolerance, proves participation or complicity. Higher frequency proves more. 20 visits proves active participation. 30 visits proves integral role in network. 47 passengers with 10-plus visits represent core network, core participants who enabled operations through providing clientele and demand and financial support and protection through their power and influence. 47 Americans whose participation is proven yet who face no consequences, no arrests, no charges, no trials, no convictions, no imprisonment, no civil suits because evidence remains sealed, preventing survivors from identifying abusers with certainty sufficient for litigation, no social accountability because names remain hidden, enabling continued careers and reputations, no consequences despite overwhelming evidence because you protect them through sealing evidence and refusing prosecutions. Protection enables continued freedom and wealth and power and respect despite proven participation in trafficking network. Protection is injustice, is corruption, is betrayal of every value you claim to uphold. 43 survivors whose testimonies describe being abused by men matching passenger descriptions during periods matching flight dates documented in manifests. 43 young women and girls who were trafficked to island as minors between ages 14 and 17, 43 who suffered sexual assault and exploitation, 43 whose lives were damaged through trauma and shame and fear lasting years or decades, 43 who deserve justice, who deserve seeing abusers identified publicly and prosecuted and convicted and punished, who deserve compensation through civil suits, who deserve vindication through official acknowledgement their accounts are truthful and corroborated by evidence. You deny them everything through sealing evidence and refusing action. Survivor testimonies match passenger descriptions physically and circumstantially, match ages and appearances and professional backgrounds, match behaviors and attitudes and statements abusers made during assaults, match locations within properties where assaults occurred, match dates within windows when passengers visited island according to flight manifests. Matching is too consistent to be coincidental, too specific to be fabricated, too corroborated by independent evidence to be false memory. Matching proves survivors describe real events involving real perpetrators whose names appear in sealed passenger manifests. Matching proves justice is possible through releasing evidence and prosecuting identified perpetrators. Matching proves you deny justice through choosing not to act. Witness statements from 14 island employees describing seeing passengers with young girls and understanding trafficking purpose. Employees worked different periods spanning 2000 through 2015, providing coverage across most active trafficking years. Employees held different roles including household staff and maintenance workers and groundskeepers and boat crew. Different roles provided different observation opportunities. Combined statements provide comprehensive picture of island operations from multiple perspectives. Statements describe seeing young females arriving by plane and boat. Describe females appearing underage based on physical appearance and behavior. Describe females housed in compound and supervised by Epstein associate who controlled their movements. Describe powerful men arriving for visits and females being directed to entertain them. Describe understanding from context and conversations that females were there for sexual purposes. Describe atmosphere of secrecy and intimidation preventing disclosure. Employee statements identify specific passengers by description. Identify passenger B as frequent visitor seen with young girls on multiple occasions over several years. Identify passenger D as academic who visited less frequently but was observed with distressed minor. Identify passenger G as media figure who visited and participated in pool parties where young females were present. Identify passenger E as businessman who requested specific girl by description, proving awareness of available females and sense of entitlement to select among them. Identifications match manifests, match survivor descriptions, match photographs. Corroboration across evidence types proves identifications are accurate and perpetrators are documented passengers whose names you seal. 14 employee statements provide coverage across 15 years of operations. Coverage enables corroborating survivor testimonies spanning same period, enables proving trafficking was continuous, not isolated, enables demonstrating passenger participation was systematic, not occasional. Coverage proves network operated openly on island because isolation provided security against outside detection. Proves employees were aware because activities were not hidden from staff. Proves passengers were comfortable because they believed their power and Epstein's protection made them untouchable. Coverage enables prosecution of multiple perpetrators across multiple years based on employee observations corroborating survivor accounts. Hundreds of photographs showing passengers at Epstein properties and events where young females were present. Photographs seized from Manhattan Mansion and Palm Beach Estate and Island Compound. Photographs include party images showing groups socializing, include dinner images showing gatherings at residences, include yacht images showing passengers on Epstein vessels, include casual images showing passengers relaxing at properties. Across all photographs, young females appear regularly, females whose ages are difficult to determine from photographs alone but who appear young, females who appear uncomfortable or out of place among wealthy older men, females whose presence is unexplained unless purpose is understood as trafficking. Photographs prove passengers socialized with Epstein regularly over years, prove relationships were sustained not casual, prove access to properties where trafficking occurred, prove presence during periods when survivors report being present. Photographs corroborate flight manifests showing travel dates, corroborate witness statements describing passengers visiting, corroborate survivor testimonies describing seeing abusers at island parties and gatherings. Photographic evidence is powerful because images are harder to dispute than testimonies. Images show what was, show who was present, show associations, show everything proving network was real and passengers participated. Specific photographs show specific passengers with young females, show passenger B at Island Party in 2003 with Epstein and 3 young females appearing mid-teens, show passenger D at Manhattan dinner in 2005 with young females sitting beside him appearing uncomfortable. Show passenger G at Palm Beach gathering in 2010 with group including 2 young females in bikinis appearing 17 or 18. Show passenger E on yacht in 2012 with young female serving drinks appearing 16 or 17. Each photograph is evidence, is proof of presence and proximity and context suggesting participation in trafficking network. Each photograph corroborates testimonies and manifests and witness statements. Combined photographs prove pattern of passengers socializing with Epstein in environments where young females were present for exploitation. Financial records documenting thousands of payments to survivors and facilitators between 1998 and 2019. Records show payments from Epstein personal accounts and corporate accounts and foundation accounts. Show payments ranging from $200 to $300,000 depending on purpose. Show smaller payments to survivors matching assault dates. Show larger payments to survivors as settlement money buying silence. Show payments to facilitators who recruited victims. Show payments to staff who maintained operations. Show payments to pilots who flew passengers. Show payments to attorneys who threatened victims and negotiated settlements. Financial network supported entire trafficking operation. Network is documented, is traceable, is evidence of systematic enterprise. Financial records prove survivors were paid after assaults. Prove compensation was provided consistent with commercial sex trafficking definition. Prove payments often occurred within days of passenger visits documented in manifest proving connection between passenger presence and survivor compensation. Victim A received payment July 19, 2001, 6 days after passenger B visited island July 13, 2001, according to manifests. Temporal proximity proves payment was for activities involving passenger B, proves passenger B participation in trafficking transaction, proves commercial nature satisfying statutory elements, pattern repeats across dozens of survivors, pattern proves systematic operation, proves passenger participation in commercial trafficking enterprise. Financial records also document payments to facilitators who enabled network operations. Document payments to associate who recruited victims totaling approximately $2 million between 2000 and 2015. Document payments to pilot who flew passengers totaling approximately $800,000 over 20 years. Document payments to island staff totaling approximately $3 million collectively over years. Document payments to attorneys who protected network totaling approximately $5 million over years. Payments prove trafficking was systematic business requiring infrastructure and personnel and legal protection. Payments prove multiple people participated in enterprise beyond Epstein and passengers. Payments enable prosecuting facilitators under conspiracy and complicity statutes. Payments are evidence, are proof, are traceable money trail documenting criminal enterprise. Communications discussing arrangements and preferences and logistics between Epstein and passengers. Communications include emails and text messages and encrypted chat messages. Include travel coordination discussing flight schedules and island availability. Include girl requests specifying preferences by age and appearance and activities. Include post-visit messages thanking Epstein and requesting return invitations. Include everything proving passengers knew island purpose and actively participated through requesting and receiving access to trafficked minors. Communications are most incriminating evidence because words prove intent clearly, prove knowledge unambiguously, prove participation undeniably. Email from passenger B to Epstein June 23, 2001 states, looking forward to July trip. Will she be available? The one from last time. Email proves passenger B planned visit, proves passenger B requested specific female, proves passenger B had prior visit where female was present, proves knowledge female was available for sexual purposes, proves intentional participation in trafficking. Email is smoking gun, is proof no defense survives, is evidence sufficient alone for conviction under knowing participation standard. Text message from passenger D to Epstein. October 8, 2004 states, thank you for lovely evening and introduction to charming young lady. Hope to see her again soon. Message proves passenger D met female provided by Epstein. Proves meeting was arranged by Epstein. Proves desire for future meetings. Proves consciousness that female access required Epstein arrangement. Context proves female was trafficked. Minor victim B identifies as her abuser. Message corroborates survivor testimony. Message proves guilt. Email from passenger G to Epstein. May 28, 2009 states, confirming June 15th. Visit. Please arrange privacy as discussed. Usual arrangements. Email proves passenger G planned visit. Proves privacy was important, suggesting consciousness of wrongdoing. Proves usual arrangements existed, meaning standard protocols for passenger visits. Context proves arrangements included providing young females. Email proves knowing participation. Proves intentional planning. Proves guilt. Text from passenger E to Epstein. March 11, 2013 states, can you arrange blonde, athletic, 16-18 range for next visit? Message explicitly requests minor by age range. Explicitly specifies 16 minimum age. Explicitly proves passenger E knew females were minors. Explicitly proves intentional seeking of minor for sexual purposes. Message is confession in text form. Is evidence no jury would fail to convict on. Is proof of guilt beyond any doubt. Communications prove passengers knew trafficking occurred, prove passengers participated actively through requesting access, prove passengers believed Epstein would provide minors, prove passengers planned visits around female availability, prove everything necessary for criminal prosecution and conviction under federal trafficking statutes. Communications are sealed, are hidden, are protected by your classification decisions, are unavailable for prosecution because you choose to protect criminals who wrote these messages. Your protection is obstruction, is complicity, is crime. Evidence is comprehensive, meaning complete and thorough in addressing all elements necessary for successful prosecution under federal trafficking statutes and criminal conspiracy laws. Comprehensive because investigation examined every relevant aspect of operations, examined recruitment methods showing how victims were identified and approached and persuaded to participate, examined transportation logistics showing how victims traveled from Florida and New York to island via private aircraft and boats, examined housing arrangements showing where victims stayed and who supervised them during island visits, examined compensation structures showing how victims were paid and how amounts were determined and how payments were concealed, examined participant identities showing who visited and when and how frequently and what activities occurred during visits, examined facilitation networks showing who enabled operations through recruiting and transporting and housing and protecting, examined financial infrastructure showing how money flowed to support operations and compensate participants and buy silence, examined communications proving coordination and planning and intent, every element investigated, every element documented, every element proven through multiple corroborating sources. Comprehensive because multiple evidence types corroborate each finding, eliminating dependence on single source or witness. Corroboration is foundation of prosecutorial strength. Single witness can be attacked as mistaken or biased or fabricating. Multiple independent witnesses describing same events from different perspectives cannot all be wrong. Physical evidence corroborating witness testimony eliminates false memory concerns. Documentary evidence corroborating physical evidence eliminates coincidence explanations. Pattern evidence showing consistency across time and locations eliminates isolated incident defenses. Comprehensive evidence achieves corroboration across all findings, achieves strength through redundancy, achieves certainty through multiple independent proofs of same facts. Flight manifests prove presence, meaning documented passengers were physically present at trafficking locations during periods when trafficking occurred. Presence is foundational element, cannot participate without being present, cannot claim innocence if presence is proven during criminal activity. Manifests are Federal Aviation Administration records required for all private aircraft flights. Records list pilot name and passenger names and departure location and destination and date and time. Records are contemporaneous, created at time of flights, not reconstructed later. Records are official government documents carrying legal presumption of accuracy. Records are verified through multiple sources, including pilot logs and customs declarations and airport records. Manifests proving passenger presence at Little St. James during trafficking periods are irrefutable, cannot be dismissed, cannot be explained away. Prove foundational element of presence beyond dispute. Manifests prove not only presence but frequency, showing repeated visits, proving sustained involvement, not innocent one-time presence. Passenger B visited 14 times over 6 years. Frequency proves pattern, proves relationship, proves knowledge of island purpose because single visit might be innocent, but 14 visits proves awareness and acceptance and participation. Passenger E visited 17 times over 15 years. Frequency proves long-standing relationship spanning more than decade. Proves comfort with whatever occurred on island. Proves participation because innocent people do not repeatedly visit location where crimes occur. Frequency transforms presence from potentially innocent to obviously guilty. Frequency is pattern, pattern is evidence, evidence is overwhelming. Witness statements prove activities, meaning employees describe what they observed passengers doing during island visits. Activities are second element after presence. Presence proves opportunity. Activities prove participation. Employee A describes seeing passenger B with young girls near pool area on 3 separate occasions during 2001 through 2003, describes girls appearing uncomfortable, describes passenger B touching girls inappropriately, describes dismissing employee when employee approached. Observations prove activities beyond mere social presence, prove sexual contact, prove consciousness of wrongdoing shown through dismissing witness. Employee testimony is detailed, is specific, is credible because witness has no motive to fabricate against powerful stranger. Employee B describes seeing passenger D with distressed minor in bedroom area October 2004, describes entering room to deliver towels, describes girl crying, describes passenger D dismissing employee and closing door, describes later seeing same girl at compound appearing shaken and withdrawn. Observations prove activities involving minor in distress, prove privacy-seeking behavior suggesting consciousness of wrongdoing, prove aftermath showing victim trauma, testimony corroborates survivor account. Corroboration proves both employee and survivor describe same incident accurately. Corroboration eliminates fabrication possibility. Corroboration delivers truth. Employee C describes seeing passenger G at pool party June 2009 with group of men and several young females. Describes overhearing men discussing girls using crude sexual language. Describes girls appearing uncomfortable and intimidated. Describes atmosphere making clear girls were there for men's sexual use, not as social guests. Observations prove activities involving exploitation of young females. Prove participants viewed females as commodities for sexual consumption. Prove collective participation in trafficking by multiple passengers simultaneously. Collective participation proves conspiracy, proves organization, proves systematic operations, not isolated acts. Employee D describes passenger E requesting specific girl by description March 2013, describes staff locating girl matching description, describes girl being sent to guest quarters where passenger E stayed, describes girl returning hours later appearing distressed. Observations prove activities involving requesting minor for sexual purposes, prove staff facilitation showing systematic operations, prove victim distress proving harm occurred. Testimony corroborates victim D account describing assault by passenger E matching same date. Corroboration across employee and survivor proves incident occurred as described, proves passenger E guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Survivor testimonies prove assaults, meaning victims describe being sexually abused by documented passengers during proven presence periods. Assaults are ultimate element. Presence and activities create suspicion. Survivor testimony provides direct proof of crimes. Victim A describes being trafficked to island age 14 July 2001, describes being held in compound with other girls, describes being told she would entertain important guests, describes being sent to bedroom where man waited, describes man matching description of passenger B, describes man assaulting her, describes lasting trauma. Testimony is detailed, is specific about location and date and perpetrator description, is consistent with everything known about operations during that period, is corroborated by manifest showing passenger B visited island July 2001, is corroborated by employee A describing seeing passenger B with young girls during 2001. Multiple corroboration proves testimony is accurate, proves assault occurred, proves passenger B is perpetrator. Victim B describes being trafficked to island age 15 October 2004, describes similar circumstances of being held and told to entertain guest, describes man matching description of passenger D, describes man claiming to be professor, describes assault occurring in bedroom overlooking water, describes man intellectualizing abuse through discussing philosophy as though that made assault acceptable, describes confusion and violation. Testimony matches passenger D manifest presence October 2004, matches employee B observation of passenger D with distressed minor same period. Corroboration proves testimony accuracy, proves assault, proves perpetrator identity. Victim C describes being trafficked to island age 16 June 2009, describes man matching description of passenger G, describes man discussing media industry, describes assault in massage room, describes physical pain and emotional devastation, describes being paid $200 afterwards. Testimony matches passenger G manifest presence June 2009, matches employee C observation of passenger G at pool party with young girls same period, matches financial record showing payment to victim C of $200, June 21, 2009, 5 days after passenger G island visit. Triple corroboration across testimony and manifest and employee statement and financial record proves assault occurred exactly as described, proves guilt beyond any possible doubt. Victim D describes being trafficked to island age 17 March 2013, describes being specifically requested by description, describes man matching description of passenger E, describes assault in guest bedroom, describes afterwards man giving her expensive bracelet, describes understanding gift was hush money. Testimony matches passenger E manifest presence March 2013, matches employee D observation of passenger E requesting specific girl by description same period, matches financial record showing bracelet purchase by Epstein account March 18, 2013, matching timing. Corroboration proves every element, proves request, proves assault, proves hush payment, proves guilt absolutely. Photographs prove associations, meaning visual evidence shows documented passengers socializing with Epstein at properties and events over years, proving relationships and access. Associations or context proving relationships were sustained, not casual. Proving access to locations where trafficking occurred, proving presence during periods when victims report being present. Photograph from Island Party August 2003 shows passenger B standing with Epstein and associate and 3 young females by pool. Shows physical proximity, shows social context suggesting party atmosphere, shows young females present in bikinis appearing mid to late teens. Photograph proves passenger B was at island during trafficking period, proves passenger B socialized where young females were present, proves relationship with Epstein enabling access. Photograph corroborates manifests and witness statements and survivor testimonies. Corroboration through photograph adds visual dimension, making evidence more persuasive to juries who find images powerful. Photograph from Manhattan dinner, November 2005, shows passenger D seated at table with Epstein and several others, including young female seated beside passenger D. Shows formal dinner setting. Shows young female appearing uncomfortable and out of place among older wealthy men. Shows physical proximity between passenger D and female. Photograph proves passenger D attended Epstein events where young females were present. Proves access to Manhattan location where other survivors report being trafficked. Proves relationship continuing years after island visit. Photograph is evidence of ongoing association enabling ongoing participation in network. Photograph from Palm Beach gathering April 2010 shows passenger G at poolside with group including Epstein and two young females in swimwear. Shows casual social atmosphere. Shows young females appearing 17 or 18. Shows passenger G appearing comfortable and familiar with setting. Photograph proves passenger G continued visiting Epstein properties years after island visits. Proves access to multiple trafficking locations, not just island. Proves sustained relationship over decade-plus period. Sustained relationship proves trust and coordination consistent with network participation, not isolated encounters. Photograph from yacht July 2012 shows passenger E with Epstein and young female serving drinks. Shows female appearing 16 or 17. Shows yacht setting proving access to Epstein vessels used for trafficking per survivor testimonies. Shows young female in service role suggesting exploitation, not social equality. Photograph proves passenger E maintained relationship with Epstein continuing into 2012 near end of documented operations. Proves access to all Epstein locations including properties and vessels and island. Proves long-standing relationship consistent with sustained participation in trafficking network. Financial records prove commercial nature, meaning payments to victims and facilitators demonstrate trafficking was commercial sex enterprise satisfying federal statute definitions. Commercial nature is legal element distinguishing trafficking from other crimes. Commercial means exchange of thing of value for sexual activity. Financial records document thousands of such exchanges. Document payments from Epstein accounts to victims after assaults. Document amounts ranging from $200 to $5,000 per incident. Document larger amounts to victims as settlement payments, buying silence ranging from $10,000 to $300,000. All payments prove commercial nature, prove victims received compensation, prove trafficking satisfied commercial element regardless of whether individual passengers paid directly because payment from Epstein accounts supporting network creates commercial enterprise all participants join. Financial record shows payment to victim A of $2,500 July 19, 2001, 6 days after passenger B island visit. Payment timing proves connection to passenger B visit. Proves victim A was compensated for activities during visit. Proves commercial transaction occurred satisfying statutory element. Payment is documented through bank transfer from Epstein account to account controlled by associate who distributed to victims. Transfer is traceable, is provable, is evidence. Financial record shows payment to victim B of $3,000 October 11, 2004, 5 days after passenger D island visit. Payment timing proves connection, proves compensation, proves commercial nature. Record documents transfer from Epstein corporate account to cash withdrawal distributed to victim B per associate records. Documentation proves payment occurred as victim describes. Financial record shows payment to victim C of $200 June 21, 2009, 5 days after passenger G island visit. Payment is smaller than others, perhaps due to victim age or circumstances or negotiation. Small amount does not reduce commercial nature. Any payment satisfies element. Record documents payment through assistant who distributed cash to victim from petty cash fund replenished by Epstein corporate account. Trail is documented, is provable. Financial record shows payment to victim D of $5,000 March 19, 2013, 3 days after passenger E island visit. Payment is larger perhaps due to specific request nature or victim experience or negotiation. Record also documents bracelet purchase by Epstein account March 18, 2013, valued $4,000 matching victim description of receiving expensive bracelet. Combined payment and gift total $9,000. Large amount proves commercial enterprise was profitable for all involved. Proves systematic compensation structure. Proves commercial element beyond doubt. Communications prove intent, meaning messages between Epstein and passengers demonstrate knowing participation in advanced planning, proving mens rea element required for conviction. Intent is mental element. Physical acts without intent might be negligence. Physical acts with proven intent are crimes. Communications provide direct evidence of intent through participants' own words. Email from passenger B June 23, 2001 requesting whether she will be available during upcoming July visit proves multiple intent elements. Proves passenger B knew minor females were available at island. Proves passenger B planned visit around female availability. Proves passenger B intended to engage with minor upon arrival. proves consciousness that Epstein would arrange access. Every intent element proven through single email sufficient for conviction because intent is stated explicitly. Text from passenger D, October 8, 2004, thanking Epstein for introduction to charming young lady and expressing hope to see her again soon, proves multiple intent elements, proves passenger D knew Epstein arranged access to female, proves passenger D appreciated arrangement suggesting it met purpose of visit, proves passenger D desires future access proving past experience satisfied intent, proves consciousness that female access requires Epstein facilitation proving understanding of network operations, intent proven through victim's own words expressing satisfaction with trafficking arrangement. Email from passenger G, May 28, 2009, confirming June 15th visit and requesting privacy as discussed and usual arrangements proves multiple intent elements, proves passenger G planned visit advance showing premeditation, proves privacy was important suggesting consciousness activity is wrongful or illegal, proves usual arrangements existed meaning standard protocols for passenger G visits. Context proves arrangements included providing young females per pattern established across evidence. Intent proven through requesting established protocols participant knew included trafficking. Text from passenger E, March 11, 2013, explicitly requesting blonde, athletic, 16-18 range for next visit proves intent most directly. Request specifies minor age range explicitly. 16 to 18 includes minors per federal law, defining minor as under 18. Request proves passenger E knew females provided were minors. Proves passenger E specifically sought minor for sexual purposes. Proves intent to commit trafficking. Proves knowledge trafficking is what was occurring. Message is confession. Is admission of guilt. Is evidence prosecutors call slam dunk because defense cannot overcome defendant's own words explicitly requesting minor. No element is unsupported, meaning every element required for successful prosecution is proven through substantial evidence. Elements include presence at trafficking locations proven through manifests, include opportunity for participation proven through witness observations and victim testimonies describing activities, include intent proven through communications explicitly requesting or discussing arrangements, include commercial nature proven through financial records documenting payments, include victim harm proven through medical records and psychological evaluations documenting trauma, include conspiracy proven through multiple participants and facilitators coordinating over years. Every element has proof, every element has corroboration, every element exceeds sufficiency threshold required for conviction. No weak links, no gaps, no reasonable defenses available to documented passengers. No claim lacks corroboration, meaning every assertion is supported by multiple independent evidence sources. Corroboration eliminates he said, she said dynamics common in sexual assault cases. Victim A claims assault by passenger B, July 2001. Claim is corroborated by manifest showing passenger B presence July 2001. Corroborated by employee A observation of passenger B with young girls during 2001. Corroborated by financial record showing payment to victim A days after visit. Corroborated by photograph showing passenger B at island parties during relevant period. 4 independent corroborating evidence types. 4 separate proofs victim tells truth. Defense cannot attack corroboration, cannot claim coincidence, cannot create reasonable doubt when 4 independent sources prove same facts. Similar corroboration exists for every survivor testimony. Victim B corroborated by manifest and employee statement and financial payment. Victim C corroborated by manifest and employee statement and payment and photograph. Victim D corroborated by manifest and employee statement and payment and bracelet purchase. Pattern of corroboration proves systematic documentation, proves investigation was thorough, proves evidence is reliable, proves convictions are achievable because juries convict when corroboration is this extensive. No assertion depends on single source eliminating vulnerability to impeaching any individual witness. Single source evidence is risky. Witness can be attacked on credibility. Witness can be impeached through prior inconsistencies or bias or motive to fabricate. Destroying single witness destroys case. Comprehensive evidence eliminates single source dependency. Passenger B presence proven by manifest, not just victim testimony. Passenger B activities proven by multiple employees, not just single observer. Passenger B assault proven by survivor corroborated by employee and financial records and photographs. 10 sources prove passenger B guilt. Defense can attack any single source without affecting case because 9 other sources remain. Redundancy creates strength. Multiple sources create certainty. Certainty creates convictions. Comprehensive evidence survives challenges from defense attorneys attempting to create reasonable doubt. Challenges include attacking witness credibility through cross-examination, include claiming evidence is circumstantial, not direct, include arguing innocent explanations exist for presence and activities. None succeed against comprehensive evidence. Attacking victim credibility fails when testimony is corroborated by manifests and employees and financial records. Claiming circumstantial evidence fails when communications provide direct evidence of intent through participants' own words. Arguing innocent explanations fails when frequency and pattern eliminate coincidence. Defense challenges are standard. Comprehensive evidence defeats all standard challenges, defeats them through redundancy and corroboration and documentary proof beyond witness testimony. Comprehensive evidence survives defense attacks on individual pieces of evidence because comprehensive means no single piece is critical to conviction. Attacking manifests fails when witnesses describe same presence. Attacking witnesses fails when manifests prove same presence. Attacking victims fails when employees corroborate observations and financial records prove payments and photographs prove associations. Any piece can be challenged without destroying case because other pieces remain. Comprehensive evidence is fortress with multiple walls. Breach one wall and others remain. Defense must breach all walls simultaneously. Cannot be done when walls are built from different materials reinforcing each other. Comprehensive evidence survives appeals based on legal challenges to evidence admissibility or jury instructions or procedural issues. Appeals often succeed by finding single error creating prejudice. Single excluded piece of evidence might create reasonable doubt requiring reversal. Comprehensive evidence eliminates single-piece dependency. One piece excluded on appeal leaves dozens of other pieces proving same facts. Conviction survives because jury could have convicted based on remaining evidence alone. Appellate courts uphold convictions when evidence is overwhelming despite any single error. Comprehensive evidence is appeal-proof through redundancy. Redundancy means no single error creates prejudice requiring reversal. Comprehensive evidence delivers convictions because juries convict when proof is extensive and corroborated and credible. Juries are ordinary citizens applying common sense. Juries convict when evidence convinces them beyond reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is doubt based on reason, not any imaginable doubt. Comprehensive evidence eliminates reasonable doubt through weight and corroboration. Weight means volume of evidence. Corroboration means consistency across sources. Combination convinces juries, convinces them completely, convinces them to convict. Comprehensive evidence is prosecutors' most powerful tool delivering justice through convictions. Evidence is overwhelming, meaning volume and quality exceed necessary thresholds by substantial margins, creating certainty of conviction if cases proceed to trial. Overwhelming is quantitative and qualitative simultaneously. Quantitative means numbers. Qualitative means reliability. 47 passengers documented visiting 10+ times is quantitatively overwhelming. 43 survivors providing detailed testimonies is quantitatively overwhelming. 14 employees corroborating observations is quantitatively overwhelming. Thousands of photographs and financial transactions and communications is quantitatively overwhelming. Volume alone creates persuasive power, creates an impression of systematic operations, creates foundation for pattern evidence showing operations were not isolated but continuous enterprise. Overwhelming quality means evidence types are highly reliable, eliminating concerns about fabrication or mistake. FAA manifests are government records presumed accurate. Financial records are bank documents traceable and verifiable. Photographs are physical evidence captured at time showing what was. Communications are defendants' own words proving intent directly. Employee witnesses are disinterested parties with no motive to fabricate. Survivor witnesses provide consistent accounts corroborated by physical evidence. Quality means reliability. Reliability means juries trust evidence. Trust leads to convictions. Overwhelming because 47 passengers documented visiting repeatedly proves the network involved dozens of powerful Americans, not isolated offenders. 47 participants prove systematic, proves organized, proves conspiracy. Conspiracy liability attaches to all participants. Any participant joining a conspiracy becomes liable for all acts committed in furtherance. Passenger joining trafficking conspiracy becomes liable not just for own assaults, but for entire enterprises. Overwhelming numbers prove enterprise existed, prove all 47 are liable, prove prosecution potential is enormous, enabling accountability for the entire network, not just Epstein. Overwhelming because 43 survivors provide detailed accounts describing abuse by men matching documented passenger descriptions during periods matching manifests. 43 testimonies cannot all be false, cannot all be mistaken, cannot all be fabricated. Probability approaches certainty that substantial majority are accurate. Even if defense successfully impeaches some survivors, others remain. Overwhelming numbers defeat he said, she said dynamics. Create he said, she said, and she said, and she said, and she said dynamic where cumulative effect is overwhelming. Juries faced 43 consistent accounts corroborated by physical evidence. Convict reliably, convict inevitably. Overwhelming because 14 employees corroborate observations providing independent perspectives on operations. 14 employees work different years from 2000 to 2015, work different roles seeing different aspects. Combined observations provide a comprehensive picture impossible to dismiss. Employees are credible because they are disinterested witnesses, have no stake in outcomes, have no motive to fabricate, simply report what they observed. Credible disinterested witnesses are prosecutors' gold standard. 14 gold standard witnesses is overwhelming. Overwhelming because hundreds of photographs show associations between passengers and Epstein over years, proving sustained relationships. Photographs are powerful evidence because images are concrete. Juries see faces, see locations, see young females present, see everything, proving context and associations. Photographs defeat denials because the image shows what was regardless of words. Hundreds of photographs create patterns. Pattern proves sustained operations. The pattern is overwhelming. Overwhelming because thousands of financial transactions document payments supporting operations. Thousands of transactions prove systematic enterprise with financial infrastructure, prove trafficking generated substantial money flow requiring accounting and management, prove commercial nature beyond doubt, prove everyone involved profited financially, creating a motive for continuing operations. Financial evidence is objective, is traceable, is verifiable through bank records. Objective evidence is powerful. Thousands of objective evidence transactions are overwhelming. Overwhelming because thousands of communications prove planning and intent through participants' own words. Thousands of messages discussing arrangements and requests and preferences prove operations were coordinated in advance. Prove participants communicated regularly about trafficking. Prove intent explicitly through requesting access to minors. Words are confessions. Thousands of confessions is overwhelming. Defense cannot overcome defendant's own words stating intent explicitly.